Hello everyone, Jay Mullings from Written Mirror here, aka Wicked Penman. Today's topic is National Suicide Prevention Day. Given the way the world has turned and the way things are at the moment, I felt like it was something I wanted to contribute in a small way to. Please don't confuse this with, jumping on the bandwagon and just running with it. I've mentioned depression, sadness, mental fortitude, highs and lows. This has been a constant theme of my writing over the years I've been doing this. You can check the Thought Book 1, the Thought Book 2. You can read the blog posts on writtenmirror.com. You'll see that, these are the kind of things that I've always tried to encourage and inspire people on their way, on their own respective journeys. So yeah, please don't confuse this for something it's not. So first of all, I'm going to be speaking more about the UK, but I'm sure a lot of this applies to around the world. Samaritans is probably one of the only places in the UK that actually takes suicide figures. And as far as I can see from the statistics I've looked up, the numbers, the reports, you're welcome to go and check this out for yourself. The number stands at around 6,000 plus annually. That's UK wide. 5,000 plus in England, and the recent report I looked at covers 2016 to 2018, so they cover a 3-year span. If you want to look at how that further breaks down, 4,000 plus of that amount on average is men, 1,000 plus females. What does that immediately tell us? Men are 4 times more likely to kill themselves. Yes and no. Reports, numbers, statistics tell a story, but not always the entire story. The reason I'm specifically mentioning England is because it accounts for what's my math saying? Around, I'd say at least 70%, maybe even slightly more of the entire count. 5,000 plus out of 6,000 plus is a lot. So. But yeah, mostly middle-aged men are the most susceptible to suicide. But that doesn't mean that men, no matter their age, aren't more susceptible, seeing as they're 4 times as likely to kill themselves anyway. But yeah, it's a sobering fact, because I know a lot of people want to believe that anyone that's a man is evil, and we've seen, if you spend any time online, you've seen the phases of almost male bashing and blind male bashing. There's obviously cases where this type of reaction is warranted, but in general, having a penis shouldn't make you less human than someone that doesn't. But sorry. By the way, let me also address this. I wouldn't say it's funny. Funny is probably not the right word, but suicide only seems to factor in 2 genders. So, male and female, nothing else. It'd be interesting to have seen if there was any further breakdown as to how people identified it, but I guess all of that doesn't matter anyway. Like, as far as it's concerned, you're either a man or a woman, even though there is no further you can't drill down further to see if it's the way someone identifies that they collect. I think they just collect biologically what you are at time of death. So I just want to put that out there. I don't want anyone misrepresenting what I'm talking about here. 4 times as likely. Way more susceptible the older you get, which kind of would make you feel like it should be the opposite, right? That the older you get, the better you might be able to cope. But especially from the ages of 40 to 45, it's a dangerous time. And that's across the UK. So when you break it down, England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, With females, it's quick correction. The highest suicide rate is actually amongst ages 45 to 49, and that's for both male and females, so men and women, which is very interesting. But that's not the only group to have seen an increase. 20 to 24-year-old men, the increase was around 40%, 39.1% to be exact, which is very interesting and very, when I say interesting, I don't mean like, oh my God, it's fascinating, this is so cool. I mean like interesting on that's the time when you would think most people be enjoying coming into their own as young men. But it's a lot of pressure out there. It's a lot of, well, there are a lot of reasons. Suicide is a multivariate equation. Of course, we know this. Many different reasons why people decide to take the decision to take their life. And even on 1,000+ women every year, that's just too much. 4,000+ men, too much. 6,000+ in the UK, too much. What's that saying about the quality of life in the UK? Why are people killing themselves in such great numbers? I have to really contribute to the conversation is that life isn't equal and life isn't fair. So it's fair to say that life doesn't treat us all equally. I'll say that again. Life isn't equal and life isn't fair. So it's fair to say that life doesn't treat us all equally. 20 to 24, 45 to 49. What's going on during these periods of our lives? What are some of the pressures? These first-time parents for the 20 to 25-year-olds? What's happening between 45 and 49? You're having to think about retirement, what you're gonna leave behind, legacy, what's happening during these ages? I'm not close to any of those age groups, but I'm still concerned. I'm still very concerned. Everyone will have you believe that men have trouble expressing themselves and expressing their feelings, and I somewhat disagree. I grew up seeing men communicate a lot, right? They had their barbecues, they played their dominoes, run their music together, played sport. They did all of this stuff together, and they reasoned, and obviously as a youngster they're not expecting you to pick up on some of the things they're saying, so they'll have their conversations and they'll use their little code, but men they spoke regularly. So this idea that men have never, I can't subscribe to that. Even in the friendships I have, with other men, it's like we're able to speak openly, plainly, and clearly with each other. And on top of that, I've always had friends where if they were doing something that I didn't agree with, I could tell them. If I'm doing something they don't agree with, they could tell me. It's always been an open line of communication. Things that maybe other people might find embarrassing, we would be able to have conversations about. Right? People have told, I've shared things with people. People have shared things with me. I've gone through some tough times. People have gone through tough times and shared that with me, and it's never made me look at a person differently for having gone through. Like, come on, it's a part of life. It's like a roller coaster. It has its ups and it has its downs. It has its hills and it has its gullies. There's a lot of S's in what I'm saying. Hopefully this comes out all right. But truthfully, I don't think communication is the problem. You can also say it's been a tough time to be an unproblematic man. Just the mere presence of being a man puts you at odds with some people. You try to be helpful, you're patronizing potentially. Or you're saying that, someone can't function without you intervening, so on and so forth. Like, for some people, I guess it might be confusing. Things like opening a door can be seen as, and for some people that have been grown up to take this role as a protector and a provider and take the lead and so on and so forth, it might be a shock to them. But then it's interesting as well, because interesting in that there are many people that would have you believe that automatically life is easier being a man. And if that were to be the case, why are they more likely to kill themselves? You know, I just think the Samaritan's numbers, Suicide Prevention Day, should be about understanding and seeing the humanity in people. It's more than you're a man, you're toxic, or you're this, that, like you're a member of the patriarchy, and that's a human being. It's a woman, not because she's not a man and she's not 4 times likely to kill it. That you don't know, that's a human being, and that's someone who might have issues and struggles and demons of their own. And it's about trying to find where you can organically help them. Some people might not want your help. Some people might just want you to, back up and give them space. So sometimes our help isn't always needed or welcome. We don't know what's specifically pushing these people towards saying that's it. And I think that's what we could do with trying to understand, as opposed to, making these blanket statements that, men find it hard to express themselves. Men can't be men, men aren't seen as men if they do this or they do that, or, men don't cry, or men don't. Listen. And then they say things like, listen to music, keep fit. There's been musicians who have killed themselves, athletes who have killed themselves. It's not as simple as that. We don't know enough, and we're not doing a good enough job to prevent these things from happening, because everyone wants to rush to point fingers to say, this is what it is. Truthfully, we need to look at this, the quality of life in the UK. Yeah, I said it, the quality of life. You'll say, well, England is a first world country, or the UK is a first world country. Why would, something is not working out here. Let's see where other countries where the suicide rate is high. Let's see where these countries are. I'm gonna guess that Japan's gonna be up in there, because they literally have a suicide park. Okay, number 10 is Russia. 9 is Belgium. 8 is Hungary. 7 is Japan, not surprising. Bhutan is on the list. They're at number 6. Ukraine is number 5. India is number 4. Sri Lanka number 3. Lithuania number 2. And blimey, this is surprising. Number 1 is Guyana. Or if you're from the West Indies, Guyana. Huh. It's interesting with Guyana as well, because it has 2 countries that neighbor it, Suriname and Venezuela. And their suicide rates aren't nearly the same. Something's got to be done. We got to try and understand this a lot better. And for all the clinical psychologists who have become quite popular for themselves and so on and so forth, instead of, using their fame to speak about trivialities, they should be out trying to find. In fact, let me reel it in. Let me not do that. Today's not a day for pointing fingers and saying this one should do this and that one should do that, but a day for remembering those who have gone. Remembering that you can go through your life, because even if the suicide rate being high from once you pass the age of 40, so you could have gone through your life, gone through all the tests and the difficulties, and you finally get to this stage of your life, and that's it. That's where you've had enough. So I have to have a moment to really, really Think about that. I'm hoping, really, really hoping people find calm within themselves and they're able to see a way through to something better or things improving. It's not nice looking at these figures and thinking about all of this. So you can only imagine what's going through the mind of these people that makes them even consider this in the first place. I'm going to open the Thought Book 1 and the Thought Book 2 and see if I can find something suitable. I'm going to just turn to a random page. Let's go with... of course. Page 50, the Thought Book 1. Striving leads to thriving. Never forget. Let's try the Thought Book 2. Page 59 on the Thought Book 2. Witnessing the growth of your friends is rewarding and therapeutic. Everybody wins in a friendship like this. You draw the best out of each other from a place of love and admiration. You level up as a group, and a community is formed for future generations. Cherish those who express belief in you no matter how slim the odds look. If that can't motivate you, nothing will. True believers in your abilities and potential are so very rare. Usually people need tangible proof, and even then they would rate a stranger over you. Understand how lucky you are to have these special people on side. That's the Thought Book 2. I hope it helps in some small way. With striving leads to thriving. It's definitely, at several points been a major mantra of mine. The idea that if you keep doing the right things, you keep focusing on getting better, you keep focusing on improving your life, that it will lead to something, something better will manifest along the way. As for having people believe in you and having friends and people that can kind of see you at your worst and tell you that they're certain it will get better for you and genuinely mean it, that's priceless. People that can empathize with the journey you're on, priceless. So I guess I'm saying all of that to say this, hopefully, really and truly, we all find a way to endure and overcome. I'm Jay Mullings from Written Mirror, aka Wicked Penman, and I'm out.